And then I have a show called Left of Liberal where I'm also going to do it because I'm a freelance reporter. That's why I got this sweet setup. All right.
So you're just doing it with the phone?
Yeah.
That's good.
All right, so we are up. This is Sam Oser reporting on Status Coup. We are over here at Villas de Paseo, where there is a rent strike happening. We are going to be talking to 3 residents, Raimi, Reggie, and Jimmy, who will be talking to us about what's going on here and just the overall crap that's been happening. So who would like to go first? You go first?
Yes. Yes, my name is Jimmy, first name, last name Ivory. And the situation here, let me share this with you. Think about this. Just close your eyes and think about this. You wake up one morning after a 4-day power shortage, lights come back on, but you don't have any water. Think about it. You wake up, you can't wash your hands, you don't have any water to drink, you don't have any water to bathe with, you don't have any water for your kids to bathe with, you don't have any water to flush your commode, you don't have any water to wash with, you don't have any water to wash your dishes with. These are the situations that we're in right now, and we've been in this situation for over 30 days. 30 days plus. We've been dehumanized and subjected to these inhuman conditions for that long, and it's really unacceptable. Think about that, and then think about this. Think if this was you. That's why we're having this rent strike. We're doing this for our community, the tenants in these apartments. We represent not just the 3 of us, but we represent over 300 something tenants, because we all are going through the same problems. We're dealing with the same problem, and the problem needs to be fixed, and it needs to be addressed. And matter of fact, we have 7 demands, and none of the demands has been met after 30 days. And initially, I was optimistic. Then I became concerned. Today, I'm mad. I'm mad because we shouldn't have to be subjected to this, and it's unacceptable.
Yeah. Thank you. So could you also speak like how long you've been here and how are you for this?
Yeah, my name is Reginald Ude. Yeah, I've been here for close to 6 months now. And my observation is equally like Jimmy. Jimmy has just told us exactly what happened during the snowstorm and the consequences we've been facing as tenants in this apartment, and which is completely unbearable and inhuman. Apart from that, there's a lot of other things that has been going on. A look at the apartment will show you exactly that the gate is completely open, giving room for hoodlums to come. Most of the tenants' vehicles has been boggled. A woman has her entire exhaust pipe ripped off from her truck, and some other ones has their windshield broken and most of their things in their dashboard stolen. Yeah, you um, look at the swimming pools; they're all covered up, but we are paying for it, and nobody has been maintaining the swimming pool even before the snowfall or the uh, snow damages. Yeah. So as a result of the consequences of the snow problem, some of the apartments have their walls ripped off. What some of the tenants has their property damaged, and the apartment cares less about what is going on, and that's exactly the reason why we are here today.
Thank you. Hey, could you speak on like what we were talking about before we started coming on about how there were already issues before the winter storm and it just exacerbated it?
Yeah. So my name is Raimi Aguilar, and I've been a tenant of Villas del Paseo for a year and a half. Way before the winter storm, I was already having issues as where other tenants were having issues in their apartments. My particular issue was that whenever it rains, water comes in through the floorboards and through one of our windows. I've complained about it many, many times and nothing has been done. And now I don't feel alone anymore. I feel like I have all the tenants beside me and we're going to keep fighting until all these issues are solved.
So, as far as I understand it, this is all of y'all's first rent strike, correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, what is the most surprising thing? Like, this is y'all's first rent strike. What were you expecting, and what is the most insane, surprising thing that you just weren't expecting before?
The most insane and surprising thing that came out of this for me was our first email when they told us that they were waiting for the plumbers to come from another location, and told us while we were waiting that we could go to the swimming pool and get water out of the swimming pool and boil it. Can you imagine that?
Wait, they told you you could boil the water?
Told us to boil the water out of the swimming pool. And so after that, I immediately called the city of Houston, 311. 311 told me that before, I asked them could they come out here immediately, because I had seen people actually doing that. They told me that they would have to talk to management first. Believe it or not, apparently they talked to management, because at 12:30, quarter to 1 that same day, I saw them putting a sign and a lock on that swimming pool back there. So
So they told you to boil it,
they
and
told,
then
they told us to boil the water. They told us to use the water out the swimming pool and boil it. That's exactly what they told us. I have that. I have that email in my phone.
That is ridiculous. So what's something surprising that's come out of out of this rent strike for you?
One of the surprising things is that I've not seen, nothing much has been coming from the leasing office with respect to what they need to do. I'm seriously surprised about how slow they were in trying to fix the problem. They behaved as if they do not know exactly what the problem is or how to tackle it. And the rest of the tenants are appalled as per their reaction over the whole issue.
How about you?
The most surprising thing that has come out of the rent strike is that, well, yes, the water has been fixed. They haven't come to talk to us. It's like they don't really care to listen to us at all. They just want to have their rent and that's it. And they're trying to give us the least amount possible to fix it. But we're showing them that the minimum is not going to work.
Well, and as I understand it too, the water was fixed, but a lot of people still don't have water, or like if they do have water, it's slow. It's slow dripping and it tastes bad. And do you guys have water in y'all's complex, in your
Let me
apartment?
share this with you. I have water, right? And it's slow. And I did a research. Hot water, the minimum temperature for hot water is 120 degrees. Our hot water at its hottest is not 120 degrees, and that's a health issue right there. Yeah. And you can't talk to these people, because if you call, they're not going to answer the phone. So it's no use in even talking to them about it. So the only thing that you can do is tell the Houston Apartment Union. You share that with them, and hopefully, they can get some results. Between the Houston Apartment Union, Remy, this young man here, and myself, we're the faces of this whole community here, and we're gonna do everything we can do to get this thing settled, and we're not gonna settle for anything less than what we demand.
Yeah. Do you have water in your apartment?
Yeah, I do have water. Just like he said, the temperature is something not to write home about. Another equally surprising thing that I saw from the apartment was from the leasing office is that a day or two after the problem started, their phone went off completely. You can't reach them by phone. And they have a law that prohibits you from coming to their office. So in other words, we are thrown at a limbo. And moreover, they keep on telling us, keep on writing us one email or the other. We are going to on the water. The water will be, nothing is usually on. We don't see any water. They will tell us we are making arrangements to bring in one or two plumbers, and others will be joining. For over 2 weeks, we didn't see any plumber in this apartment. or we see barely just a plumber going about not knowing exactly what to do. So you can imagine the tenants were busy asking what sort of management is this. So the management need to get up and do what they are supposed to do.
How about you? Do you have any water in your apartment right now?
My water is completely back to normal. No funky taste. I will need to test the temperature because I haven't tried that out yet. But I have seen from like other neighbors that some of their water's getting backed up, and it's not going down the drain how it should be. And we're having some sewage being backed up in the apartments as well.
I guess now maybe we should go over to the pool where they told you guys to get water from. Yeah? Here, I'll follow y'all.
You're gonna love this.
So when I first came to cover this rent strike a little under a month ago, they were told to get pool water and boil it and use it as potable water. But it's just filled with algae, so we're gonna go take a look at the pool that management told them to get from. So even though these 3 tenants do have water, the water is not very good, low pressure, not a lot of heat, as Reginald and Jimmy were talking about. But there's a lot of other tenants that do not have water still, and we'll be talking to them later today. And here, ooh, God, that's disgusting.
Let me share this. Villa del Paseo has been owner of this property for about 9 months. When they told us to get water out of the swimming pool, this water had never been changed. So as you can see, this is what they're telling us to get water from. And at the same time that they told us this,
Dang. So,
Apart from this pool, there's another pool over there.
there's another pool over there. They asked you guys to?
None of them has been changed ever since I've been here.
Yeah.
None of the pool has been changed ever since I've been here. It remains unattended to, unmaintained, and nobody cares less. Yeah.
Well, maybe let's get back into some shade, huh? We can go back over around the way.
I hope that water didn't make you too thirsty.
Right, it was just so drinkable, wasn't
I can
it?
imagine them telling us to get water out of there. It's still, it's crazy.
So if you
Uh-huh.
if you go to this block 22 on room 145, the room there is completely damaged. Yeah, the whole floor is completely ripped off.
Did they let me look at it?
The lady said that her clothes is completely, drained by water coming out from the pipes, and he's confused on what to do. He's approached the apartment so many times. Nobody cares. Yeah, nobody cares. He's been to the apartment. Today he told me he's been there about 3 times. And they told him we are coming, and nobody ever shows up.
Yeah. Let's get back in the shade so we can talk some more. It's a sunny 66 degrees down here in Houston. It's cool. We're used to a lot warmer weather, but it's just hot enough that the sun is not very fun. So over here is the management center, the leasing center, and so I got reports. I got reports that the leasing center was hoarding water and then only giving you guys water when the reporters or journalists would come around. Could you speak on that? You're nodding your head a lot.
Yeah, so I saw a few videos of them moving the water inside and waiting until the next day to give it out. Of course, a lot of residents became very upset about that idea and came to confront management, and management then very rudely started giving out water, very aggressively.
Like how? Like here? Like did this like throw it at you? Or?
Being like, okay, come on, then you can come get it then. Like kind of like fronting.
So what kind of scare tactics and other issues have you guys been experiencing with management?
Well, me personally, I haven't experienced any scare tactic because, you know, I know that nothing is going to be done. They don't do anything voluntarily. They're the only way that you can get them to do anything is by force. They're not going to. We've had different support groups come out here bring us water, but as far as this management, they have not. They've not brought a gallon of water out here. The only thing that I know that they brought out here was pizza.
Was pizza?
Pizza.
How hydrogen?
Pardon me. That's the only thing that I know that they brought out here. I think they had,
Ice cream.
yeah, if they had something for the kids or something like that, and they brought pizza out here. But other than that, and you know, in terms of trying to satisfy the whole community as a whole, and the tenants and everybody, they haven't stepped up to the plate at all.
Yeah. So, Reginald was telling us that there's a woman down over here in that little, over there who's,
Block 22 to be precise.
block 22.
Yeah.
Could you speak more on what's happening with her?
But the snowstorm affected her apartment, and there was no water and there was no light. And maybe in the attempt to repair the water, most of her walls were ripped off. It was ripped off. There was leaking all over. And the leaking affected her clothes, her boxes, and damaged most of her properties. So he has been approaching the management to have those things repaired so that she can go back to her normal life. But nobody cares less. So he's been living in that with that damage and has not been having a very good time. I approached her to see if she can speak to you, but she's frustrated because she feels nobody's attending to her and nobody cares about what she's going through. So that's exactly the situation here. So she's frustrated because just like most of the people living here are, each time they talk to the management about fixing a thing, their response is disappointing. It will take 3-4 days, if not a week or two. You will call and call before they will respond. So that's exactly the situation here. And that's exactly why the woman is frustrated.
Yeah. Well, like I was telling them earlier, because he came back before the live stream, was like, you know, she doesn't want to talk. And I just completely understand because it's only so much that you can live with. And you're just like probing, and people just get sick of it. They get sick of everything around them, and they don't want the media there because they also feel like the media doesn't help, which I definitely understand. So since the winter storm, between the winter storm and the management, how has that affected your life and like your work life? Have you lost wages? Has your life been like, was that your phone?
Yes.
Is that me? Oh, okay. Like, did you lose work? Did any of that stuff happen that made it just even harder for you to even make rent? You want to go? Okay.
So I lost wages because going to work as at that time was something else. But moreover, it's horrible. Carrying buckets of water, carrying buckets, looking for where to get water. You go to some of the places, you wouldn't find any. You go to the pools, you are in between the decision, what am I going to use this water for? But you don't have any choice but to fetch the pool water when it was open. You will fetch it to use it to flush the toilet or boil it in order to take a bath. So, we've been, will I say, dehumanized, subjected to labor. is like changing a life pattern. They made us to learn in a hard way. We were thinking it's something that is going to last. If it is something that has lasted for, let's say, a week or a few days, we will have said, okay, we can understand. But this took 3 or 4 weeks. Yeah. So that's completely unbearable.
Yeah. How about for you?
Well, my wages weren't affected. One of the ways it really affected me, as many other tenants, was that I work from home. I'm home 24/7, as I know many other tenants are too. And being at home without water, having to use the restroom was taking a lot longer. Having to drink from water bottles instead of being able to fill up my own bottle and being able to reuse it. So I was producing a lot more trash as well. Try not to use any dishes whatsoever, so using a lot of paper cups, paper plates, doing anything possible to be able to not use that much water, because I didn't want to have water go down the drain, because it's just it became such a precious utility to have.
Well, for me, let me share this with you. I'm retired. I've been retired for 15 years. On my 65th birthday, I told my kids if I wasn't married, I was going to sell a house, we were going to split the money, and I was moving. So I did that. I moved here. It was called Stone Crossing at the time. Beautiful, beautiful apartment complex. Everything. I mean, management came when you came and knocked on the door. They wrote down the problem. Management came right away and took care of that problem. It's not like that now. You got to go through an email to get that done now. For us, it's been very inconvenient for me, because like I said, you get up, you got to go look for water. You got to go look for water. I don't own a car, so when and believe it or not, I go to LA Fitness. I went to LA Fitness to take a shower, and I would walk to Kroger's if I had to use the restroom, because I'm OCD. So so that's where I am. So it's been very inconvenient for me, and it just doesn't make sense to have to live in such inhumane condition when you thought that you were coming from somewhere that was going to be suitable and something that you could you can relax and live in until you got ready to do something else. But at this point in time, I'm ready to go.
So before the winter storm, you guys were already living in conditions that just weren't very habitable. The maintenance was terrible. Things that needed to get fixed in your apartment weren't getting fixed, and then the winter storm hit. What was the last straw for you that you decided, I need to do this rent strike and it needs to happen now? When did you really decide that you needed to start striking?
Well, for me, it came to mind. I decided, and then it wasn't just me who decided. I was looking at the rest of the tenants. We all decided basically at the same time that we were going to rent strike, and that was at our first meeting. But the last straw for me was when they would email us, wouldn't talk to us face to face. Everything that was done by email. Most of the emails were lies. And the last straw was when they told me to go to the swimming pool and get some water and bought it. I was done then.
Yeah. As a result of the constant emails that we are receiving that were lies, because they would tell us that the water will be turned on. Please make sure you fill your buckets. No water is usually turned on. They will tell us we are adding some plumbers. We don't see any plumbers. So the tenants decided to gather in front of the office to discuss the issues. And it was when we gathered over here, discussed, that we agreed that we'll go on a rent strike. So that's exactly what happened. Mm-hmm.
For me, I got a knock at the door from the Houston Tenant Union, asking me if I didn't have any water, and asking me to join a meeting later on that afternoon, where they were going to talk about some of the resources that we could use to be able to expedite management to provide some solutions. And rent striking was one of them. And that was at the end of February. Then March 3rd came. That's like the last day you can pay rent without any late fees, and we still didn't have any water. So I was like, okay, then we're doing this. Like, we're going on rent strike, because there was no other solutions being provided. You know, it's understandable. Like, oh, there's not that many parts. Like, plumbers are hard to get to, but there's so many other solutions that they could have provided. Like, the porta potties weren't brought over until I think 2-3 weeks later.
Yeah.
And then there's also portable showers that they could have brought to the property to make the lives of the tenants a lot easier.
Right.
So because they weren't providing any other solutions was because that's when I decided to rent strike as well.
Thank you. So before we're on this live stream, we were talking about how there is a new security walking around, and you guys were saying that there used to not be security guards before. Could you speak to when you started seeing the security guards and when they're here?
Yeah. When we gathered for the meeting where we decided on a rent strike, the whole tenant complained that they don't know about the state of the security in this apartment, how their cars are being burgled. But all of a sudden, nothing was done. But last week, we started seeing the security in the afternoon, not in the night, to our surprises, because most of the things are being done in the night. It was in the night that the cars are burgled. It was equally in the night that the mailbox were all broken into.
Wow.
All the mailbox were broken into. They took all the mails. It was in the night. So we are thinking that if anything should be done, if a security should be provided, it should be a security that will take care of the security issues we have at night. But surprisingly, it's a security for the daytime. In other words, it's not a security for the tenants. It's a security for the management.
Yeah.
So that's exactly what it is.
Yeah. And you know what? I concur with Reginald here. Let me just step back a little bit. Before communal properties bought these apartments, they used to be called stone crossing. Well, the gate out there, when the gates were broken, they have security at night. From 11 at night till 9 in the morning, they had security. Why these people can't do the same thing? They have security in the daytime. Nobody gonna break in a car in the daytime. So that tells me that he's not out here for me and for Remy and for Reginald and for the rest of these tenants. He's out here securing these people in this office. And all they're doing is pacifying us. That's all they're doing. They're trying to pacify us. They pacify us with $250 off our rent. All they're doing is pacifying us. $250. If we have to pay the late fee, that only covers the late fee.
Yeah. Would you like to speak on how the security just kind of popped up last week?
Yeah, so the tenants are all in a WhatsApp group. And I started seeing like people mentioning that there was like a security guard, I think about a week ago. And I was like, oh, okay, there's a security guard. I had not seen him whatsoever, but they were mentioning how he was only here during the daytime and not during the nighttime. And most break-ins happen during the nighttime. So like Jimmy was saying, like the security guard here is for the management and not for the tenant.
I think that's such an interesting thing. Like, I mean, it's interesting but not surprising, right? Because the police state is there to protect the corporate interest. It's not there to protect us. And here we are seeing it in real time with this rent strike here in Houston, where security only came in when you guys started organizing. So now that you're organizing, so you didn't pay rent in March, April's coming up. How are you feeling? Like, are you feeling empowered? Are you feeling scared? Like, what's going on?
Well, you know, I'm not afraid, because the fact is, when they offered us $250 off our rent, that told me that we're winning. We're winning, because if they offered us $250 off the rent, it's just like a car salesman. You go take your used car in there, and they're gonna lowball you first, and that's what they're doing. They're lowballing us. So there is room for us to get more money off our rent. So no, I'm gonna fight this thing out until the end. You know, I'm not giving up. As long as the rest of the tenants and the union is behind us, I'm in it. I'm in it to win it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the $250 is. Yeah, I don't understand what it is. It for? Is it for the labor? Is it for the inhumanity that we are subjected to? Is it for the lack of water that we are facing for over a period of time? Is it for you? So that's exactly the thing. We are not afraid. It is not about the issue of me or Jimmy or her. It is about the tenants. The management, we pay the management. So the management ought to do what is right. And what is right is that they should negotiate with us and give us what is fair. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, we're going to continue to rent strike until management comes and talks to us and negotiations are done and all our demands are met. So I will not be paying April's rent as are many other tenants.
So a lot of people, like I'm just kind of hearing more privileged people in my head talking, right? Like a lot of people would say, well, why don't you just move out? Why don't you find a different place to live? Why don't you buy a house? You know, just like all of these things that people usually say whenever people are faced with inhospitable conditions. What's something that you would say to them?
First of all, let me say this here. We really shouldn't have to move out. There are tenants in here that their walls are busted down because of the water pipe. Their carpet is off, and the nails are showing on the floor. How about this? The apartment right next door to them is ready, available. Do you know they would not let that tenant move into that apartment next door? You know, if something is wrong with that. You know, so my thing about moving out, we don't know. That's one of our demands. We would like to be able to move out, and our credit would not be affected by us breaking our lease. Right now, they haven't answered that demand. So we're kind of up in limbo about that. So, you know, a lot of us don't, you know, we cherish our credit, you know. So until that demand is met, you know, I'm going to stick and stay.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to fight it out. You know, like I said, I'm in it to win it. But, you know, it's ridiculous that you have an apartment right next door. The family it's 2 adults, 3 kids. Next door, the apartment is ready to go move into. No damage to it. And they refuse to let you move into it. Something is wrong with that.
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, and the way they have it too is like it's systemically, like you're in your lease, and systemically you cannot be removed from your lease because it would damage your credit score. So even if you wanted to move, you'd have to risk that.
You have to risk that.
Damn.
Moving out is not the option. I signed a lease. They know exactly what is in the agreement. I'm fulfilling the part of my lease. They should fulfill theirs. Yeah. We have a problem. We are discussing about the problem. They should listen to us. It is not about moving. I don't know where I'm moving to. I know about where I am now. We have a demand. We are serious about it. They should meet our demand.
Yeah.
Everything that Jimmy and Reginald have said is true. Like, moving is going to be a very big inconvenience. We're still in a pandemic. So having to move and search for a new apartment can also cost you your health. And we shouldn't have to move. We signed a contract with the management, and they need to fulfill their part. And then and then that's when they get their rent. But they're not fulfilling their part, and they're not going to get their rent.
Let me share this with you. Okay, this property, communal properties, they have rights as apartment owners. Well, guess what? We abide by their rights. We pay our rent. We do everything that they ask of us in the contract. Why can't they do the same? Tenants has rights too. We have rights, but our rights are being violated.
Yeah.
Every day, our rights are violated. You know, and you know what? Out of everything else, the worst part about this is these kids. what they're going through. Can you imagine what these kids are going through every day?
Exactly.
I live by the exit gate down there. I see these kids going to school every morning before the water was turned on. You can see it in their faces, you know. And you carry this. Parents carry this here to work. When they get off work, what am I going to do for water? That's the last thing that you should have to worry about. Where is water going to come from? When it's, you know, it's essential. Something essential is water. But these are the times that we're going through over here at Villa del Paseo Apartments.
Okay, the lady is ready.
Oh, she's ready?
Good.
Okay. So, guys, the woman that we were talking about whose home and apartment in Building 22 who has walls ripped off of her house and she's living in uninhabitable conditions has agreed that we could come in. So,
Let's go.
let's go. Here, I'll follow you guys. So right now we're walking over to an apartment where the conditions are uninhabitable and the woman has agreed to let us in. She's very, very frustrated. She's frustrated because the management won't do anything. Media is coming out here and talking, but they're really not talking about the systemic issue. And her issue, like her problems aren't getting solved, and it's just very uninhabitable. And we keep talking about this, but she's about to let us see it, so that's very nice of her, because it is very frustrating. Hi. Yep. Yeah, I can go ahead.
We're part of the Houston tenant union.
Hi, my name is Sam. I'm a freelance reporter with Status Coup.
Okay.
And we report on the systemic issues, and we make it our mission to give the microphone back to the people. Okay. Would you be interested in talking to us? It's
No
okay
problem.
if you, yeah?
No problem.
Okay.
Let me put on my mask.
Put on your mask? Okay.
So you can see exactly the house. I don't know if they have water. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
So go to the kitchen. You can see. Yeah. Go to the kitchen. Let us show you the whole places.
Oh, man.
You can see exactly that the whole house is upside down.
Has this exacerbated like any bugs in your home?
Oh,
Bugs? Like do you have cockroaches and stuff?
no.
No, not yet.
Not yet.
Okay. Here, let's come back over here. So, do you have water?
Yeah, the water came in on the 10th.
The water came in
On the 10th of March.
Yeah.
But still running cold water, no hot water in it.
No hot water.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you also participating in the rent strike?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm one of them.
You're one of them.
Yes, please.
That's awesome. So, is this your first rent strike that you've participated in?
This is my first, yeah.
Yes.
This is the first time we experience this horrible kind of situation.
What was it for you that made you decide that you absolutely had to strike?
No, what made me to join them in this strike was that I've been here since 2015. This is my 6th year of living here, and never ever have I ever experienced something like this. Yeah, formerly we do have 2 previous owners of this property, and they do provide us with security. Whatever that is a problem in your house, within 30 minutes, 1 hour, someone will knock at the door to know what the problem is. But since this recent owners came into this place, you have problem and call, nobody will pick up phone. You get there yourself, they will tell you someone is coming. 1 week, nothing. That thing still remains the same. Till this 14th of February, when we experienced this storm and the outbreak of light not being in any place. So when I came home, I noticed that the whole place was flooded from the kitchen section to the dining, water running to the rooms. I ran to them and said, please, can you come and see what I'm seeing? They said they are coming. I never saw anybody. The next day, I went back. Then before I came back from work, I noticed they've sent their maintenance. They kept one machine here running, saying that they have mopped and cleaned everything, and they are waiting for the water to dry up the floor. I said, is that what the problem is? Have you checked to know where the problem is coming from? They said the water is coming from the bus that is upstairs. I said, okay. since it's from upstairs, what is going to happen? They say they are working on it. From that 15th of February till on the 9th of March, nobody came here to know what is happening. Then around 4:45 on the 9th, as my daughter came in to bring me food, because that's where I sleep, that's my bed.
You can see her bed. How do you humanize it?
This where I am right now.
How can she be sleeping in this sort of thing?
Nowhere to cook, no food, because all this they brought, both the stove, all of them were scattered all over here. So as I escorted my daughter to leave, coming back, I made this door wide open to the bedroom, just like this. I said, who is in my house? I came in and met a guy in my bedroom, the closet. I said, what are you doing here? He said the office people sent him to come and find out where the problems are, that he has noticed the water too is from my closet bedroom. I said, is that why you leave my entrance door everywhere today? He said, he's sorry. Then I follow suit, get in there, follow me.
Okay.
All of you can come here. It's a terrible situation. That's where I met him. Can you please go and see for yourself? I met him there.
So the man was in here, and
I met him.
and
The whole door was open.
the whole
And I
door.
asked him who sent him. He said the apartment sent him, and he has noticed that the water is coming from there. And he brought out a underneath rug, soakingly wet from the beginning to this place.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So he came in and worked on your house, left your door wide open for anybody to just come on
I'm
in.
telling you. Then I have 4 sets of boxes that were there.
Okay.
Come and see. He brought them out, soakingly wet, with the clothes in there. He's
All
the one that.
all the 4 sets were
Soakingly wet.
drenched in water.
Then I now asked him what's gonna happen. He said because all these are wet, that's why he brought them out, and he's removing all the wet rock.
about the carpet here then?
No, he said only those ones are wet, but everywhere was smelling. I said, what about this? He said maybe they will come later to ask me to remove all this so they can remove this. I said, me? He said, yes. I said, okay, I'm waiting. He left and brought a machine and placed it there, saying he wants the place to dry up. He's coming the next day to remove the machine. I said, okay. Before I came back from work the next day, the machine wasn't there. I went to the office. What's the next step? They say he's coming back. On the 11th, nobody came. On the 12th, another group of people came in.
That was a month later, between February 15th and March 11th.
I said 12th.
Yeah.
On the 9th, I met this man on the 9th. On the 10th, he came and removed the machine. I went to the office and asked, what's the next thing to do? They say, someone is coming. Then on the 12th, another group of contractors came in. They said they came to indicate where the problems are. They were using a kind of automatic indicator. So they find all these areas you saw being removed, and they say, excuse me, ma'am, we want to remove all these clothes. They are the one that the second said, remove all these things and pack them here. I said, how am I going to do? They said, because they want to work here. I said, okay. I now showed them all this, they videoed everything, and we came out. Then they came to the kitchen section to find out that all the cabinet, here has cabinet, all of them soakingly wet. They have removed everything and left it like this, telling me they are coming back.
Have they said that, have they come back yet to do anything?
Since that on the 12th, they came and did the removal and came on the 13th to remove the trashes and everything till date. Nobody has come here till date.
Till date.
Nobody else. Then I saw them on a Saturday. I said, please, sir, you people are selling this complex. I'm not cooking, no food, no nothing. Can you please come and return this stove from there to here so I can be able to cook and eat? They now followed me to come and help me put on the stove here. That's when I started cooking. You can see this is supposed to be a cabinet. Yeah. And this wasn't here then. So they helped me fix this. That was when I started cooking around the 17th. Because nowhere to cook, the stove was removed to the other section. So I've been calling on the management to come and know what to do. Because these people have left and told me their work is done, that another group is coming. Yeah. I said, how many groups will come into my house? Second group has gone. Third group is coming. He said yes. So day before yesterday, I went to him. I said, Since this inception of this matter, you have never come yourself as a manager to see what my house looks like. He now followed me and told me that insurance is coming yesterday to come and do everything and start work. Just not quite 4 hours ago, I saw 2 men. They said they were sent by the management to come and assess the damage. So that's how I've been here.
Yeah.
So much depressed with the situation of things. My 6th year of being in an apartment, and I'm left in this kind of situation. How do you feel? I will be, feeling.
Yeah.
So that has been the greatest problem with me and the management.
Yeah.
Yes,
It's
ma'am.
very angry and very frustrating.
Yes, ma'am. So that's the situation.
When did you decide to go on the rent strike? Before, like, was it when the man was in the closet that you were like, I'm going to strike now? What did it for you?
It was a general decision by the whole residents that we were knocking at each other's door. Come out, come out. No light for good 10 days to 2 weeks. We did not have light here. There was no light, there was no water. And all of us were frustrated. That was when they started giving us emergency water from charity organizations. Because there was no water, there was no light. Then that was when we all decided to strike.
Right.
Yes, ma'am.
So a lot of people, privileged people, would ask, like, why don't you move? What would you tell them? What would you tell those privileged people who don't understand?
Why wouldn't I move? We are paying you rental without owing you for almost 6 years, and such a thing happened, you won't be able to come and sort us with the problem? No, we are not moving because we are not owing them, and we are paying in order for them to give us the satisfactory service we need. And that's why we never care to move, rather for them to come and do it the way it should be. Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
At any point, have they offered to move you into a different apartment that's habitable?
They've never come to see the situation of things in my house, not to talk of moving me out. Nobody has come until just day before yesterday. The manager followed me when I insisted he has to come and see what the situation looks like. That was the first time he came in here. Nobody has ever come or cared to ask what's the situation like. But they keep on telling us, we are sending contractors, we are sending this, the management are bringing a group of people to come and do this and that. And nobody's coming. They are just telling us, something we never sure when it will happen.
So, ma'am, do you expect her to cook in this situation?
Look at it.
Do you expect her to cook in this situation? How can she be able to live? Look at exactly how the whole thing looks like.
No. No.
Look at everything. The way they are the one that all this you see. They are the one that put them this way, and I refuse to touch them because I don't know where to start or where to stop.
Arranging things.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And they told me another group is coming to build another cabinet to fix before they can come back to close up these openings. Yeah. That's what the second group of contractors told me. Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Do you have water for your toilet now, or
Yes.
water in general?
Water is running everywhere, but all running cold water, no hot water. The hot water is running cold. Yeah. Yeah. Since on the 10th, I had water.
And you have you seen any further damage?
From here, for now, the damage is just as you see this place. Yeah, as the situation is and the way they scattered everything. That's what I'm seeing for now. Yeah. And there's no hope of repairs or when it will be repaired.
Right.
That's my concern for now.
Yes, that's a major concern. I mean, look at this. This is ridiculous.
I can tell you that the whole issue, some of the people in this apartment has the same issues like us. I've been privileged to knock at the doors of some of the people around here. Yeah, they told me they don't have water. Maybe they started having water from the tent. Yeah. But last 2 weeks, or last week when I talked to some of them, when we were sharing some leaflet, they told us that they don't have water. Some of them, their apartment, their floors or their walls were all ripped off. So that's exactly the issue. Yeah.
I forgot even to let you know that when this light, they brought light back, this section of my place just sparked, and something went off here. And for good 5-6 days, I alone did not have light, not knowing that others had light. You can see my television. Since then, it refused to work. Okay. Look at it. Yeah. My son just brought me this. You see my television? It's no more working. Yeah. I don't know what must have happened.
So when everybody got electricity, you didn't have it?
Something sparked here. And I went straight to them to say there was a spark. Can you people come and know why I'm not having light? They said I should call Just Energy, that is my company. I called Just Energy. Just Energy said there is no problem with them and my my own apartment. That is a maintenance issue. I should call the company. I went back to them and said, Just Energy says there's nothing, they have done all the repairs. If I'm calling them that they are coming under my personal this care to pay $120, I said, no, don't come. Let me go back to them. And now went the third day before they now sent someone, and the person came, say, can I see your payment slip? I brought my Just Energy slip. He took a number and went to the cabinet something and brought a fuse to tell me that was sparked and went off the whole light for 5 days.
Wow.
And he went and fixed it. That was when I had light like others.
So in other words, she didn't have light when others had light.
Yes.
Yeah.
She later had light after additional 5 days.
Yes. Why do you have 2 refrigerators?
This is my personal. You know, in my workplace, we normally do, once a while, they do sales in our company.
Oh, okay, but at least you have a working fridge, and it's not like a weird thing going on.
It's my personal fridge I bought from the sales.
Okay. I thought maybe they had messed up the fridge and the fridge had mold.
working
The
good.
fridge is okay.
Yes, please.
That is ridiculous. So you didn't have electricity when everybody else.
There's while electricity was on in the whole complex, and they told me it's just the energy company fault. While it wasn't. Yeah, and the blow was from there, which they now later sent someone 5 days later while there was no light.
And it was wet still.
There was light everywhere. Then when that man came in, said he's an electrician, he went and they brought me a fuse, saying that fuse was what blew off. And the management didn't know that he's going to show them. So when it was about 1 hour later, maybe they went outside to buy something and fix. That was when I had light with others. Yeah.
This is very frustrating, and it's all such bullshit. Like, honestly, like there's no way, like, how, so you guys are like into a month into your rent strike. How do you feel going forward with the rent strike? Do you feel empowered? Are you scared? How are you feeling?
I'm not scared. I'm empowered because they have to do what they're supposed to do. They must have to think of our own safety and care, because we are paying our rental, and we have never defaulted from any rules or regulations from their agreement we made with them. So they must have to make sure that everything goes the way it should go with us.
If there's anybody who's thinking about doing a rent strike in their community, what would you tell them?
That is, if you are genuinely on the right track, yeah, we have to. If you're on the normal track of doing something because of what is not going the way it should go, I will tell them, let's go on and do it.
Is there anything you wish you would have known that you would tell other people who are wanting to rent strike?
Other people wanting to do what?
Is there anything that you would tell people, things that you wish you would have known before you started rent striking?
Nothing else I think I would say, because for now I'm so frustrated and don't want to go further on any other thing than the situation I am into now. Yeah. So I wouldn't like to add or subtract anything from now with anybody.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing this story and your home. It's a mess. It's unacceptable. Your anger is very warranted. This is messed up. This is messed up. It really is. It really is.
Thank you for your people's concern, though.
Thank you. It's very frustrating, and I understand that it's very hard to share sometimes. So I do appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh my goodness. This is messed up. See, and then this is what we're leaving now. There are so many homes just like this one, so many apartments just like this one, that are facing the same issues. And we were very...
This neighbor is facing the same issue. This neighbor is facing the same issue. He is so frustrated that he has decided to leave. He was in the forefront of the rent strike, but maybe he has some other pressures. I called him the other day. He said, man, I'm annoyed, I'm frustrated, and I want to leave. Let me see if you can answer so that you can talk to you.
Her neighbor is facing the same problem, and we're going to see if maybe he'll let us see his home as well. If not, here in a little bit, there is a picket that's going to happen in front of the leasing office. So here in a second, we'll head over there as well. Yeah, that's okay. That's all right. Do you guys have anything to add from like anything that you've seen? Do you I haven't heard from you in a while. Do you have anything?
Yeah, so as she mentioned, one of the other issues is that maintenance does not let us know when somebody's coming into our apartment. And the plumbers were not using any mask or any basic PPE at all. And they were going into different people's homes, could have been spreading anything they had to other tenants. So those are some other issues that we were facing as well.
Yeah, you just have like the COVID pandemic on top of all this, and it's really making it just exacerbating. Will you guys be participating in the picket today?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Some of that is now.
Oh man. Yeah. So here's another example of. This is outside. Let me see if I can zoom in.
Wash and dry storage.
So that's another example that we're seeing. This is just outside in the washer dryer storage area. That's ridiculous. Oops. Sorry about that, guys. I like flipped my phone. So now we're heading out to see if anybody's out here for the picket yet.
I need to go get a banner for the picket, so I'm gonna go step out for just a quick.
Okay, yeah, no problem, no problem. I'm pretty much just gonna hang out here until. Do you guys have anything you want to add? I haven't heard from you in a bit.
Thank you so much.
Think you covered everything? Okay.
If there is anything I need to add, I need to thank the church community. I need to thank the representative, our state representative in this area for their concern. The church community around, some of them I can't remember their names, came up with some water. The police community equally, yes, I guess they came here sharing water too. And the state representative was on ground with a truckload of water.
Yeah, but
Sure.
they just came for a little bit. They
Uh,
didn't actually like
no.
help.
No, they just came for a little bit. They are not living here. They are not
Yeah.
part of the management, but at least they should concern.
Yeah.
So that's exactly what I
Yeah.
need to add.
Yeah. Okay. Well, see you guys in a little bit. I'm gonna walk over there because I think I saw some people come by. Thank you. There's some people coming through. So right now we're taking a little bit of a break between people. So we talked to Reginald, Jimmy, and Ramy, who are residents here. They do have working water, but as we heard from them, it's only cold water. It's not hot water. The water levels are low. We just left a woman's house, a woman's apartment. She doesn't have walls. Her kitchen's completely messed up, and she's sleeping on her couch because her room is just exploded from her closet because her closet is also being constructed, and it's just a very terrible situation. Right now it's very cold. Well, it's not very cold. It's like in the 60s. That's cold for us Texans. But here pretty soon, the folks who are having these issues with their walls and the pipes being exposed, they're going to start getting roach infestations soon. We're in spring, we're headed into summer. And I don't know if y'all have ever been in Texas, let alone Houston, but the bugs are big down here. And we have flying cockroaches, and it really does present a health hazard. And that's where we're headed towards with the management here not fixing anything. So here next, they do plan on having a picket. That's coming up next. Something that, if you just like came on and aren't sure what's going on. There is a rent strike happening here in Texas, here in Houston. This is the first rent strike that I'm aware of in Texas where it's like actually a rent strike. When I was looking to confirm this, I saw news reports of rent strikes happening in Texas, but they weren't technically rent strikes. It was actions calling for rental assistance, for eviction moratorium, and reporters just reported on it as rent strikes when really they were just rent protests. I really do think this is the first rent strike in Texas in the near future. Glasses are falling down. I mean the near future, and like the close history to it. And we are seeing another rent strike happening. There's one like happening in the Heights too. But this one's been going on for a month. They didn't pay in March, and we're coming up to April. And as you heard, they do not plan on paying in April either. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name's Sam Oser. I'm a freelance reporter. I report with Status Coup periodically. I'm in the live chat for Status Coup quite a bit. I'm an old friend. So right now they're getting ready for the picket, and we're going to walk around and chit. I did bring some bottles of water for everybody, but I was instructed to not pull it out until everybody was out here. So maybe once we're done recording, I'll bring the water out, because there's so many people here that still do not have water. Here is the leasing office. So I don't know if you remember, but the first report, I showed where they put the list of demands onto the leasing office window, leasing office doors. And their list of demands is like, give us water, fix our issues. And like a lot of these issues predated the winter storm and are exacerbated by the winter storm now. Oh, and now there's security here. I don't know how many of you were able to be here when we started talking about the security. I'm going to sit down for a second. I don't know how many of you were online when we were talking about security, but they started this rent strike a month ago. And last week they put security on the premises. But the security is only here during work hours, management work hours. The residents have made it clear that they do believe that the security is there for the management and not for the tenants, because the front gate of the apartment complex is broken, and there's a lot of break-ins into apartments, a lot of break-ins into cars, and all of those break-ins happen at night. So the tenants that I spoke to, they were like, well, why wouldn't they put the security guards out at night? And it's because they really do think, and I think so too, that the security is just here to protect management, and they put the security guards out here last week. So this is a new thing. Like, this isn't something they haven't had security guards here before, or well, before with this new management. Before, when it was different management under a different name, there were security guards, but not now. So we're just kind of here right now. I wish I could like answer questions or something, but I can't see the chat. For now, we're just going to walk around. I'm going to show you guys the pool that they were instructed to use to boil water from and use as potable water. Because at the beginning of the winter storm, when absolutely nobody had water, management told them to just go to the pool. And a lot of apartment complexes in Houston, Harris County, and honestly in Texas, they were told to use pool water. And a lot of the cases, the pool water was just as green and just as gross as you're about to see with this one. Look at that. Look at that gross water. They were told to use that water for potable water. Isn't that ridiculous? And then one of the tenants called the city of Houston, thinking the city of Houston would come and help. And instead, the city of Houston went and locked the pool gate. They locked the pool gate and put pool closed until further notice. So, yeah. Sorry for my quietness real quick. Wind water, $10 in the super chat. Hold truth to power, Status Coup. Tell them like it is. Thank you. Thank you, Eva, for texting me that. Eep. Uh-oh. Where is the stream lab? There we go. Okay, and we're back. I don't know if the stream paused while I looked at that, but we're over here. Oh, people seem to be gathering over here. Well, and that's the important thing with Status Coup. And that's why, like, I've been in and out of Status Coup for so long, is because, like, our mission is explicitly to give the microphone back to the people, to point out the systemic issues, not just lay out this symptom of the system, but to really highlight the system and call it out for what it is. The symptoms of the system are important because it contextualizes and gives evidence to the system. But the fact is that we live in a plutocracy. We live in a very fascist system. We were talking about earlier how a lot of these folks can't get out of their leases because it'll affect their credit score. Those are chains. Those are oligarchy corporate chains. Like, you should be able to leave somewhere that's uninhabitable if you need to, and not be constricted by and held hostage by the consequences of your credit score or anything. So that's why I love Status Coup. That's why I love reporting with Status Coup and being in the live chat, because we actually talk about these things, and it's very important. The woman that we spoke to earlier, if you missed this interview with this woman in her apartment, it was very upsetting because she couldn't cook in her house for like 2 weeks. She's sleeping on her couch in the living room. And there will be a replay of it once this is done, and Colin, our wonderful video editor, and Eva will probably edit it too as well. But it's just these are the stories that we have to tell, because it's ridiculous. So right now we're just hanging out. Everybody is situated behind the leasing office, getting ready for the picket that's about to happen. It's supposed to start at 4 CST. It's 4:03 right now. I imagine maybe they're waiting for some more people to come out, but that's what's going on. So I'm going to rotate the camera back again. Sorry, y'all are getting like some really close-ups of my face, and sorry about that. Okay. So if you were around earlier, we were talking about how insane this is for children. Here's some kids playing, and how we're living in a pandemic, but on top of that, we're living on infrastructure that is privatized and made for profit. So all of the infrastructure that we have, and the water and the pipes and whatnot, are explicitly for management. For management, for the people profiting. They don't actually care about the tenants, and the tenants are frustrated, and that's why they're doing this rent strike. Houston Tenants Union has been around for a hot minute now. I started interviewing them maybe like a year or so ago. and that this is a group that we see out here. And when they were talking before about organizing with the tenant union, this is the tenant union that they were talking about. I interviewed them before, and they started the tenant union way before COVID, and they became part of the autonomous tenant union last year. But they started way before COVID because housing was an issue before COVID, and it's just now being exacerbated and highlighted. A lot of, I mean, as you know, a lot of these systemic issues that we've been seeing as these silent emergencies, as Jordan usually calls it, has just been exacerbated and highlighted by the pandemic. So that's why they started their work before the pandemic, and they've really just been in gear since then. They're one of my favorite organizations around here to follow. And what I didn't realize, I actually had no idea until they started forming around here, is that there's tenant unions all over the US. And if there isn't a tenant union around you, there are a lot of resources for you to organize and create a tenant union. And I think that's the most important part that people tend to forget, is that you're not alone, and you do have the power to organize, even if it feels like a lot. And that's something I really try to emphasize in a lot of my reports, is just that you're not alone. You're not alone. Like, everybody feels like they're alone in this hellscape, in this capitalist hellscape, but you're not alone. I mean, look at all these people. See? And there's more coming through as well. Sorry. There's more coming through as well. And so some updates from the winter storm. So the last update I gave was about how it looked like the Texas legislature was going to bail out the electrical companies so that people wouldn't have to pay their high electrical prices. Because for those of you who don't know, Texas is an unregulated market. And a lot of the electric bills that people paid were like $3,000, $6,000. I think the highest one I saw was $10,000. And they were being forced to pay these electric bills. And there was talk that the Texas legislature would cover that. But they rescinded, and they're like, nope, you're just going to have to pay your own electric bill. And there was actually some leaked audio that came out of was it the Texas Observer, where a top Texas regulator said that they would protect the profits of Wall Street, and they would protect the profits of all of the companies who profited off the winter storm. Because there were like a lot of companies that profited. Natural gas was a big one. The natural gas issue happened with sorry, I feel like I've been talking forever. I don't know how Jordan talks so much. I'm such an introvert. But anyway, the natural gas stuff, the natural gas, it powers a lot of the electricity here, and there was such a high supply and demand issue that happened. So it jacked up the prices of natural gas, and the natural gas oligarchs profited. They raked in so much cash from the winter storm, and basically the Texas regulator came out and said that they were going to protect those profits. So isn't that fun? Ooh. Hold on, I just got a message from Jen. I'm taking a look. Ooh, man, Houston police are responding to a disturbance Saturday afternoon at the Galleria, according to officials. Police say people are running around the Galleria, and there's a shooting happening. So I think this helicopter that we just saw passing by, or you can't see it, hold on. This helicopter passing by way over there is probably what's going to go. I'm actually near the Galleria area. This apartment complex is off Westheimer as well. So that's fun. Yikes. I'm curious, it's probably another white supremacist, huh? So we're sitting here chilling. More people are starting to come through for the event, for the picket. So just kind of here. I'm going to show you some pretty pictures of some of the trees around here, because the trees, Houston is gross and swampy and humid and all these other things, but when it's springtime on days like this, there's nothing like it, really. Look at that. It's beautiful. There's some trees for you. Yeah. That's some good stuff. There's your dose of serotonin in the middle of this very depressing stream. Well, not too depressing. People are fighting back, and there's some nice stuff in that. So that's the Houston Tenants Union. And some of the residents are starting to come through. So thanks for hanging in there. We did talk to residents earlier in the stream, interviewed residents, went into a woman's home who barely has any walls. Her kitchen is torn apart. She just was able to cook about 2 weeks ago, but she's also participating in the strike. And more people are starting to come through for the next part of this segment. There is now Jen texted me that there's now a shooting in the Galleria area. Not really able to see updates on that yet, but there's a shooter in the mall. So probably a white supremacist. I know I already said that, but I just hate it. I just hate it. I'm gonna rotate my screen back. And the group's gotten bigger. And you see that there's more people coming through. I was advised to wear a hat and just basic protective gear for today's protest. Last week, they put security guards here in the apartment complex when they had not had security guards before. And the security guards were only out here during the day. The security guards weren't out at night when burglaries usually happen. So imagine that. The security guards out here to protect management because, of course, I live in this corporate hellscape. Now I'm just ranting. Rah, rah, rah. So we're around. I don't know how much longer they're going to be. A lot of these people I had interviewed previously in the first round earlier this month. The gentleman over there in the blue shirt we interviewed earlier today. It really is amazing. Like, sometimes I forget how introverted I am, and then I have to do stuff like this where it's just like making time. Hi. Would you like to interview?
I don't really know what's going on, so it might not be the best person.
All right, that's totally cool.
We're gonna get started at around 4:30.
All right, cool beans.
Yeah, we're just getting a few more people out.
Yeah, no problem. So I don't know if you heard that, but they're going to be getting started here in about 15 minutes. They're waiting for some more people to come out because this is a picket, right? So need a little more people to come out. And more people are slowly making their way out. it's such a lovely day. It really, it's really something where it's just like such a nice day, and you have to like use this nice day to fight to live and have habitable apartment. It's pretty ridiculous. Like nice days, I mean, it makes it easier to like strike and do protests on nice days, but I really wish we lived in a more equitable world where you didn't have to use a nice day to beg for your survival. It's ridiculous. Some more people coming through. Some more people coming through. Since they're at the beginning of this, I'm just trying to stay out of their way while they organize and get everything together for the picket, for the event that's coming up next. I don't want to distract them while they're planning. It's such a perfect day. Well, let's see. I guess while we're here, again, I wish I could see the chat so I could like talk to y'all. But take this time to introduce myself for those of you who don't know me. My name is Sam Oser. I'm a longtime friend of Status Coup. I'm usually in the Status Coup chat when Tina or anybody is going live. I do report in Houston. I have a show called Left of Liberal that I do. And you can follow me at Sam the Mullet. Oh, something's happening.
Good, everybody? Hell yeah. How y'all feeling? Y'all feeling good? Hey, let's go. Oh, yeah.
So right now they're going to walk and be in line with their signs. And I think there's some other media here, and they're talking about letting the media grab some pictures. We are doing a live show right now, so I won't be taking pictures, but see, such a pretty day. Look at that very green tree. Ooh, this is the tree that I was just under. Yeah, that's a good tree. Anyway, gotta have some moments of serotonin between these things. I'm a big believer in that. You know, it's
Looking good on YouTube, Sam.
good. Good. Heck yeah. So this person we just interviewed is looking at it on YouTube. Okay, so they're lining up in front of the management office. This is so very important. People are working together. is anybody in there. Doesn't seem like anybody's in there. But they did this last time too. They made it seem like nobody was in there before.
When I say tenant, you say power. Tenant! Power! Tenant! Power! Tenant! Power! Tenant! Power! When I say tenant, you say power. Power! Tenant! Power! Tenant! Power! Tenant! Power! Tenant! Power! Tenant! Power! No justice! No rent! 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 Sin justicia! No venganza! Sin justicia! No venganza! Sin justicia! No venganza! Sin justicia! No venganza! Sin justicia! No venganza!
Now we're out here outside the apartment complex on one of the main roads.
I know 3 chants.
Chanting already. You're doing it. You're doing it.
No, my mind gets like, yeah.
I have more chants.
The tenants.
Yeah, give it to a tenant.
Who's the tenant?
Some solidarity from across the street with some passerbys, some thumbs up, fists in the air.
Podemos hacer vinos unidos jamás serán vencidos, ¿ok? Ok, aquí está, no se preocupe. Ok, entonces, ok. Entonces, ¿usted qué quiere gritar? Ok, va.
I'll be translating in real time.
There's another guy.
Mm-hmm.
His apartment was completely ripped off.
Oh my God.
Jamás serán vencidos. Inquilinos unidos.
Jamás serán vencidos.
Inquilinos unidos.
Jamás serán vencidos.
Inquilinos unidos.
Jamás serán vencidos. Inquilinos unidos. Jamás serán vencidos. Inquilinos unidos. Jamás serán vencidos. Inquilinos unidos. Jamás serán vencidos. Inquilinos unidos. Jamás serán vencidos.
¿Qué queremos? Renta.
They're saying the tenants will be united. Nothing will divide us. What do we want?
Se siente. Inquilinos están presentes. Se ve, se siente. Inquilinos están presentes.
We're seen, we're felt. Tenants are present.
Inquilinos están presentes. Ahora, se ve, se escucha. Estamos en la lucha. Se ve, se escucha.
You see us, you hear us.
La lucha.
We are winning. Or we are thriving, persevering.
Ahora juntos. Se ve, se siente. Inquilinos están presentes.
Se siente. Inquilinos se siente.
Se ve, se escucha. Estamos en la lucha.
Estamos en la lucha.
Cuando yo digo inquilino, ustedes dicen en huelga. Inquilino.
En huelga.
Inquilino.
En huelga. Inquilinos en huelga. Inquilinos en huelga.
I'm trying to get across the street.
Sí que sí, no que no. Inquilinos somos todos. No que no, sí que sí. Inquilinos están en huelga aquí.
Here they are in front of the apartment complex. We just left the leasing center. There's that gate that's open and has been open. Oh, here comes the security guard. Wonder what he's gonna do. But that gate has been open and there's been a lot of concerns around security. But it was only last week that management brought a security guard but the security guard's only around during the day, during management hours. So they've
Who's in charge here?
been very clear. I don't know.
Who's in charge? You don't know?
No, I'm not in charge.
Well, I've got a message from the management. They you need to cut that off.
I'm a journalist, sir.
Okay. Well, the media. I've gotten a message from the management that they need to take it over to the end over here. If they want to protest or if they want to put up a sign, they need to take it over here to the other end of the building.
Well, it's public property on the sidewalk,
Okay.
so they don't have to do that.
Okay, but they're not on. They're right there.
Oh yeah,
Those
they
people?
can move. Yeah.
So they're being instructed to get away from.
As far as they can still get in right there.
Those people that are behind, okay, they need to come forward. They're not. They're on the property.
All right. Well, you want to go tell them?
To the right.
What do you want to go tell them? Oh, right there?
You can go tell them.
No, I'm good, bro.
Okay. Well,
This is the security guard that they hired on last week. And he's only around during management hours. I don't know if you can see, but I think the security guard's texting or making a call or something. The security guard was telling them, if you missed it, that they wanted their protest moved down further. And the Houston Tenant Union told them that this is public property, like the sidewalk. But then the security guard came back and said the people in the back needed to move. So we'll see how it pans out. And he is getting some footage. He is getting some pictures. So they are out here being policed. Previously, cops came out to drop off water with the state's reps and other elected officials. But that was all that came out of it, was a press release concern. Some of the tenant leaders who are present here have been threatened with eviction and have been threatened with fines and fees. But together they are striking. And there's the security guard. There's some cars passing by to see what's going on. The management did offer them $250 off their rent, but the tenants said that that was not enough off their rent, considering that a lot of the conditions that the residents are living in are still uninhabitable and very uncomfortable for those living in there. There are apartments that are habitable that have not been offered to those who are having uninhabitable living conditions.
Now with the landlord. Oh, with the landlord.
Down with the landlord.
Up with the union.
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 Down with the landlord.
No justice, no rent.
No justice, no rent.
There's some solidarity coming by.
No justice, no rent. How do you want? Reduce rent.
There's the security guard documenting them.
How do you want? Reduce rent. 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 Up with the union. Down with the landlord. 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 Up with the union. Down with the landlord.
We're going to go through and see some of the protest signs that they have hold up.
Up with the union.
Down with the landlord.
Up with the union.
Down with the landlord.
Up with the union.
Down with the landlord.
What do we want?
Reduce
rent.
Reduce rent.
Reduce rent. What do we want?
Reduce rent.
No justice, no rent.
People are moving to the sidewalk now.
No justice, no rent.
Here you see we have families here too.
No justice, no rent.
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 Rent, strike, rent,
Strike.
rent, rent, rent,
Strike.
rent,
Strike.
rent,
Strike.
rent,
Strike.
rent,
Strike.
rent,
Strike. 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 Woo! Strike. Strike.
strike.
Strike. Strike. Strike. Strike. Strike. Strike. Strike. Strike. Reduce rent. Reduce rent. Reduce rent.
How do you want?
Reduce rent. Reduce rent.
The cost of living in Houston is exceptionally high, just in general. Rent is unaffordable in Houston and greater Harris County.
Down with the landlord. 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 Strike. 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 Strike.
No justice, no rent.
No justice, no rent.
No justice, no rent.
No justice, no rent. No justice, no rent. No justice, no rent. No justice, no rent. No justice, no rent. No justice, no rent. No justice, no rent.
No justice, no rent.
No justice, no rent.
No justice, no rent.
No justice, no rent. No justice, no rent.
No justice, no rent.
No justice, no rent.
No justice, no rent. No justice, no rent.
No justice, no rent.
Rent, 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 rent,
So they're outside of the apartment complex. The Villas de Paseo apartment complex is pretty big. Even behind us, this is all Villas de Paseo as well, all the way down there.
What do we want?
Down there. This action is a month in the making. They've steadily increased their actions based on their demands not being met. There's some 7 main demands that they want met. It's clean water, prorated rent, They also want all of their maintenance issues to be fixed, because they had maintenance issues even before the winter storm that were not fixed. Also, you know, we're over here in Westheimer, and I just want to point out like a nice piece, evidence of some gentrification that's happening over here. It's always those nicer things that you start seeing the gentrification. And the way it goes usually is if you're able to move the poor tenants out, move out the poor people, move out the working class people due to inhabitable conditions, you can gentrify the property even further and raise up the rent. I'm not sure what they're up to now. I'm gonna go back over.
Do y'all want to stay here, or do you want to march down to Westheimer? We're still here.
Right now they're trying to see if they want to keep the picket here, if they want to move it down further to a bigger street.
That's right.
Yes. A tenant that just drove by also said no water, no rent. Hi, hey, how you doing? That's good. I'm looking to see if there's anybody else who wants to get on the speakerphone.
Are you Sam?
Yeah.
My name is AJ.
Hi,
I'm a
AJ.
really big fan of your work.
Oh.
I'm just happy I finally got to meet you. I've seen you at Actions before, but I don't think we've ever
Thanks.
talked
No, we've never met before. It's nice to meet you. I
Yeah.
love the work with the Houston Tenants Union.
Oh, thank you.
I'm obsessed.
Well, your reporting is always very good. And
Thank
I
you.
always appreciate it a lot.
Thank you
I
so
just wanted
much.
to say personally.
Thanks.
Yeah.
That means a lot. Thank you.
And don't forget about water. It can be easy since we're used to the cold weather for a little
Oh,
bit.
yes. Thank you.
Just a little-
Without justice, there's no rent.
Sin justicia no hay renta. Sin justicia no hay renta. Sin justicia no hay renta. Sin justicia no hay renta.
Without justice, there's no rent.
Inquilinos unidos jamás serán vencidos. Inquilinos unidos jamás serán vencidos. Unidos jamás serán vencidos. Inquilinos 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 unidos jamás serán vencidos. ¿Qué queremos? Renta. Que bajen la renta. ¿Qué queremos? Que bajen la renta. ¿Qué queremos? Que bajen la renta.
What do we want? For them to lower the rent.
Que bajen la renta. Que bajen la renta. Que bajen la renta. Que bajen la renta. ¿Y cuándo? Ahora. ¿Cuándo? Ahora. ¿Cuándo? Ahora. ¿Y cómo? Luchando. ¿Cómo? Luchando. ¿Cómo? Luchando. ¿Cómo? Luchando.
Some solidarity from people coming by. They've been striking for weeks now.
No justice, no rent. No excuses management. 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 No justice, no rent. No justice, no rent. No justice, no rent. What do we want? What do we want? When do we want it? What do we want? When do we want it? What do we want? When do we want it? What do we want? When do we want it? What do we want? When do we want it? If we don't get no justice, you don't get no rent. If we don't get no justice, you don't get no rent. If we don't get no justice, you don't get no rent. If we don't get no justice, you don't get no rent. If we don't get no justice, you don't get no rent. Up with the union, down with the landlord. Up with the union, down with the landlord. Up with the union, down with the landlord. Up with the union, down with the landlord.
Does anyone want to get on the microphone and share their stories of how management has treated you and why you're striking? Are you asking a question? Yes. Can anyone answer this question?
I'll translate. What was your question?
If anyone wants to get on the microphone.
I'm gonna see if anybody wants to get on the mic to tell their story. If the story is in Spanish, I'll translate it.
Varias, ¿verdad? Porque están en strike ahorita. Si alguien está interesado, ¿verdad? Sabemos que están hartos, ¿verdad? De todo el tratamiento. ¿Alguien quiere hablar sobre su historia? ¿Usted, señor?
No, porque yo rompí el contrato porque no estaba feliz aquí.
Pues con eso, señor. ¿Está interesada?
No, a
Está
ver.
en su poder completo. Nadie la puede parar. Nadie la
Yo
puede
quiero
parar.
que aquí me apoyen.
Tienen que presionar esa cosa.
Yo quiero que aquí me apoyen porque yo rompí mi contrato. Porque yo ya
I
no
want
estaba
support because I ripped up
aquí.
my contract because I wasn't happy here.
Cuando salía el tubo del drenaje tenías que andarlos cargando para que no pisaran el cochinero.
Whenever we took our dogs out to poop, we'd have to pick them up because there was water drainage everywhere.
Tenía que andar poniendo cubetas. Eso es una injusticia, pagar uno su renta y que no hagan nada por nosotros. Por eso estamos aquí en la justicia.
It's an injustice that we have to pay rent. It's an injustice that we have to pay rent while they do nothing. They had to pick up their dogs while taking them to the bathroom because the water that was leaking out and pouring out was drainage, and they also had to cover the inside of their homes because all the leaks that happened within their homes was drainage, was sewage.
No excuses, management. When I say rent, you say straight. Rent. Straight. When I say rent, you say straight. Rent. Straight. Rent. Straight. Rent. Straight. Rent. Straight. Rent. Straight. I put the union down with the landlord. 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 Down with the landlord.
Down with the landlord.
I put the union down with the landlord. When I say rent, you say straight. Rent. Straight. Rent. Straight. Rent. Straight. Rent. Straight. No justice, no rent. 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 We don't get justice, you get no rent. We don't get justice, you don't get no rent. We don't get no justice, you don't get no rent. We don't get no justice, you don't get no
circumstances by whatever's going on right now. These people are still forced to pay rent, but yet they still have no water.
No justice! No justice! No rent! No justice! No rent! No justice! No rent! What do we want? What do we want it? Now! What do we want? Reduce rent! What do we want it? Now! What do we want? Reduce rent! What do we want it? Now! When I say rent, you say strike! Rent! Strike! Rent! Strike! Rent! Strike! Rent! Strike! If we don't get no justice, we don't get no rent. If we don't get no justice,
This is the name of the conference.
if we don't get no justice, you don't get no rent. If we don't get no justice, you don't get no rent. If we don't get no justice,
If you missed it earlier in this live stream, I did interview some residents, and we went into a woman's apartment where maintenance still has not fixed water damage. Once this live stream is done, it'll be available for replay. And our wonderful video editor, Colin and Eva, will put it together all together to make it a little more digestible for you.
no justice, no justice, no rent, no justice, no rent, no justice, no rent. What do we want?
Look at the nice people bringing water. God bless us.
What do we want it? Now. What do we want? Reduce rent. When do we want it? Now. When I say rent, you say strike.
The best way to help these folks is connecting with Houston Tenants Union and donating for water.
Yo digo inquilino, ustedes dicen en huelga. Inquilino, en huelga. Inquilino, en huelga. Inquilino, en huelga. Sí que sí, no. Inquilino,
He was trying to translate, but he messed up.
Inquilinos unidos. Inquilinos unidos. ¿Qué queremos? Renta baja. ¿Qué queremos? ¿Qué queremos? ¿Qué queremos? ¿Y cuándo? ¿Y cuándo? ¿Y cuándo? ¿Y cómo? ¿Y cómo?
Okay, I'm gonna go back to the other side. This one's a little hot.
Inquilinos están presentes. Inquilinos están presentes. Se ve, se escucha. Estamos en la lucha.
It's important to see that their action
Inquilinos.
is visible for other people coming by. A lot of these people are probably renters, just like them.
Arriba con la unión, abajo con el propietario.
There's water donated to those who don't have water in the complex. Or if they do have water, it is drinkable water.
Arriba con la unión, abajo con el dueño. Arriba con la unión.
Down with the landlord, up with the union.
Arriba con la unión. Arriba con la unión. Arriba con la unión.
I'm doing.
¿Alguien más no quiere hablar sobre sus experiencias? No estamos hablando, ¿verdad?, de una cosa, sino que varios abusos. ¿Alguien está interesado? Anybody interested in speaking about their experience? ¿Usted, señor, tal vez está interesada? ¿Sí?
If any of them tells their story in Spanish, I'll translate in real time.
Gracias por el apoyo, señor. El apoyo es muy importante.
Nobody wants to come up to the speakerphone, that's okay.
No rent. No justice. No rent. No justice. No rent. When I say rent, you say strike. Rent. Strike. Rent. Strike. Rent. Strike. Rent. Strike. If we don't get no justice, you don't get no rent. If we don't get no justice, you don't get no rent. If we don't get no justice, you don't get no rent. If we don't get no justice, you don't get no rent. If we don't get no justice, you don't get no rent. I say rent, you say strike. Rent. Strike. Rent. Strike. Rent. Strike. Rent. Strike. Up with the union and down with the landlord. Up with the union. 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 Down with the landlord. Down with the landlord.
Órale.
Esto es una protesta que hacemos
This is a protest that we're doing
en comunidad,
as a
todos los
community,
vecinos unidos,
all of the neighbors united,
porque
because
tenemos
we have
mala gerencia,
a bad
tenemos
management.
apartamentos inundados,
We have an
tenemos
apartment
apartamentos llenos
that
de
is
moho,
damaged, that has a lot of
tenemos
mold.
apartamentos donde están trabajando y teniéndonos habitándonos. No podemos tolerar más esta situación.
We
señor.
cannot tolerate this situation more. We have management that's taken advantage of us.
Buena condición de vida.
In this apartment, there's no good living
Tenemos
conditions.
información que se dice que no nos mueven a todos los afectados, pero sí están alquilando apartamentos. Sí están metiendo nuevos residentes.
We have information that they're not moving tenants that have damaged houses, but they are moving new people in. They're moving new people into the apartments that are good.
Aquí nos están apoyando. Muchas gracias por ellos. Y bueno,
I am one of the affected. There are some people here that aren't affected, but they're still supporting us.
la renta hasta que no tengamos todo solucionado.
We're not paying rent until everything has a solution. Once everything's fixed, we're not paying anything until everything is fixed.
What do we want? Reduced rent. When do we want it? Now. What do we want?
Reduced rent.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Reduced rent.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Reduced rent.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Reduced rent.
When do we want it?
Now.
When I say rent, you say strike. Rent.
Strike.
Rent.
Strike.
Rent.
Strike.
Rent.
Strike.
If we don't get no justice, you don't get no rent. If we don't get no justice,
You don't get no rent.
if we don't get no justice,
You don't get no rent.
if we don't get no justice,
You don't get no rent.
up with the union, down with the landlord. Up with the union,
Down with the landlord.
up with the union,
Down with the landlord.
up with the union.
Down with the landlord.
When I say rent, you say strike. Rent.
Strike.
Rent.
Strike.
Rent.
Strike.
No justice, no rent. No excuses management. No justice, no rent.
No excuses management.
No justice, no rent.
No excuses management.
No justice, no rent.
No excuses management.
No justice, no rent.
No excuses management.
My voice is hurting too. Hold on.
This is Jimmy. We interviewed him earlier.
I want to remind everybody the true reason that we're out here today. Almost 30 days now, last 30 days, we have been without water, which is inhumane, dehumanizing conditions that we are faced with Villa del Paseo apartments. And we're out here protesting our right as tenants just as they protest their rights as owners. Today, we are already a winner in this, but today we are taking a step further because of the lack of cooperation that we're having with the owners of Villa del Paseo. And that's why we're out here pronouncing no justice, no rent. No justice, no rent. No justice, no rent. No justice, no rent.
Some people are coming home to the apartment complex, see that the rent strike is going on. Some of them coming home are part of the rent strike. Some of them aren't. But I've been told by Houston Tenants Union that most are. Most in the complex are.
Reduce rent. What do we want? Reduce rent. What do we want? Reduce rent. What do we want? Reduce rent. What do we want?
This is Reginald. We interviewed him earlier.
What do we want? Reduce rent. 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 No justice, no 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 rent. Up down union. Up with the union. Down with the landlord. 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 No justice, no rent. 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 No justice,
He's on fire.
no justice, no rent. No justice, no
We interviewed him earlier.
no justice, no rent. 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 What do you want? Reduce 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 rent.
It's important to know that out here, it's a mix of people who live at the Villa de Paseo, but the tenant union's also made up of tenants who have gathered in solidarity with the tenants here.
What do you want? Reduce rent. 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 No justice, no 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 rent.
I will show y'all the name of the apartments
Up
again.
with the union.
Sorry if I moved.
Union. Up with the union. Up with the union. Up with the union. Up with the union.
And this is on the other side. They got two complexes.
Up with the union. Up with the union.
water. I just told them I barely want to go live. I'm just trying to
Up with the union!
Right?
Up with the union! 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 Down with the landlord! Up with the union! Down with the landlord! Up with the union! Up with the union! No justice for us! 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 No justice for us!
My dumb ass. I almost got ran over.
Reduced rent. Reduced rent.
What do you want? Reduce rent. What do you want? Reduce rent. What do you want? Reduce rent. What do you want? Repair. What do you want?
All right, guys. So my battery's running low. And of course, you know, I charged my battery pack so I could be prepared for this moment, but my battery pack is not charging my phone battery for some reason. So they're still out here picketing and protesting. Earlier we did interview some residents. So once I end this live stream, you can go through and see the residents. So we entered a woman's home, and she doesn't have like some walls in her house. And she told us her story about how she came to her apartment one day and the door was wide open and a contractor was in there and her clothes were just everywhere. So I definitely encourage you to go back into this live stream and look at those interviews. The residents here at Villas del Paseo have been on a rent strike since March. They did not pay March's rent. They are not going to pay April's rent until they get water, until they get repairs, until they get prorated rent. You can follow more of this with Houston Tenants Union, and I also report on it outside of Status Coup. You can follow me at Sam the Mullet, and that's what's going on. My battery's dying, so I'm going to sign off. It was good being here with you guys. But I'll see you in the live chat whenever Jordan or Tina goes live. Bye, guys.